Hello and welcome to Sports Around the World. I am Blessing Bassi. Here are the headlines. Super Eagles head coach Kenneth Roy says Benin Republic is a must-win match. Super Eagles camp bubbles as more players arrive camp ahead of AFCON qualifier against Benin and Lesotho. Benin Republic hopeful of victory over Super Eagles as coach Michel Dusuya releases final list of players for the match. FIFA ensures 2022 World Cup for $900 million. CAF disqualifies Chad from African Cup of Nations qualifiers. National Men's Cricket Championship gets underway in Benin. More stories, more news stories in full to come after this short break. Super Eagles head coach Kenneth Roy has said beating the Benin Republic at home and securing 1 point is a task that must be accomplished when they meet in the AFCON qualifiers. The Franco-German coach is already anticipating challenging games in Porto Novo against the Squirrels and in Lagos against Lesotho on March 27th and 30th respectively. Nigeria leads the Group F qualifying group with 8 points after 4 matches, while Benin trail in second place with 7 points and Lesotho at the bottom of the group with 2 points. But the Super Eagles remain the favourites to join the party at Cameroon 2022, especially with the majority of invited Europe and home-based stars already available in the country for the 2 crucial encounters. Meanwhile, the number of players in Super Eagles camp has increased to 23 after the trio of Wilfred Ndidi, Victor Osimhen and Samuel Chukwueze linked up with their teammates. Kelechi Iheanacho is the only player who is yet to arrive the Camp Echo Hotel camp. They will have their first training session on grass this evening at the Teslim Balogun Stadium. The Super Eagles will travel to Cotonou on Thursday for the game. Kenneth Roy charges will take on the Squirrels at the State Charles de Gaulle Porto Novo on Saturday. The players had a light training session on Tuesday morning with all the players participating. Former Nigerian international Joseph Dosu says Enyimba's Anayo Iweala should be given the chance to feature against Benin Republic and Lesotho. Dosu made this known after watching Iweala in action for Enyimba in Monday's NPFL game against Sunshine Stars at the Agege Stadium. He is one of 3 home-based players invited for the Eagles camp following the withdrawal of Moses Simon, Kenneth Umuero and Samuel Kalu. And reacting to his performance, Dosu endorsed Iweala's invitation, positing it is deserved. Iweala has joined his teammates in camp in preparation for the qualifiers, which comes up on Saturday and Tuesday. Benin Republic coach Michel Dusuya is optimistic of granting a win over Nigeria after unveiling his 23-man squad that for Saturday's Group L AFCON 2021 qualifier in Porto Novo. Notable absentees are defender Olivier Vendor, who was prevented by the Bulgarian club Ludogorets, as well as Melbourne Victory striker Gordy, while clubless Stephanie has been given a new role in the team as a special guest. The list is made up of 3 goalkeepers, 8 defenders, 6 midfielders and 6 strikers. Meanwhile, the Beninese government has promised to charter a special outward and return flight for its international playing in the French Championship. The French authorities at the weekend relaxed their isolation measures for non-European players called up for selection during the next international break. With this development, players in question will be exempted from the quarantine on their return to France, subject to benefiting from daily PCR tests and compliance with a sanitary bubble during their stay in selection. Let's quickly go on the short break. When we come back, we'll bring you more sports stories. Welcome back. World Athletics has announced the launch of a global conversation for the future of athletics, which will lead to the development of an 8-year plan through to 2030. The governing body said it's inviting member federations, athletes, coaches, officials, fans, schools, meeting directors, partners, and media to contribute. It is claimed that their insight and feedback will shape the future of the sport, with a roadmap titled The World Plan set to be produced. World Athletics said the purpose of the consultation is to listen to the athletics community and identify where the sport stands now throughout the world. The consultation will help to establish a vision and direction for the period through to 2030, setting out how both World Athletics, its member federations, and area associations and other people involved in athletics can work together to develop and grow the sport across the world. International Table Tennis Federation (ITTF) Executive Committee has informed Thomas Wickett that he has lost their trust, confidence, and support in the latest crisis at the top of the organization. A statement from the ITTF Executive Committee said that the members will take all decisions on a majority basis until the next annual general meeting. The ITTF Executive Committee said it had taken the action to help find positive solutions to recent and ongoing difficulties, adding they needed to act on their democratic and constitutional rights in order to unify the Executive Committee in the best interest of the ITTF. The ITTF Executive Committee said he has voted in favor of reinstating Kahil Al-Mohanadi as the ITTF Deputy President. Al-Mohanadi will be reinstated until such time as the initial purported decision-making authority of the President and all allegations against the Deputy President have been fully clarified and dealt with in accordance with due process and natural justice as set out in the ITTF Constitution. McLaren has signed a contract with 13-year-old American Kata Ugochukwu to support him through racing junior categories. The Formula One team said the agreement gives them an option to sign Ugochukwu to a race deal in the future. McLaren's racing chief executive officer Zach Brown said, "We have been watching Ugo's progress with interest. The move gives McLaren what they describe as a multi-year contract with Ugochukwu, within which there is an option they can choose to take up, which would tie him to a further multi-year racing deal. This could be in Formula One or in other categories." McLaren, like many Formula One teams, have had a young driver program for many years. The most high-profile graduate is Lewis Hamilton, who was also signed by the team when he was 13 and who remains so far Formula One's only black driver. Ugochukwu, who was born in New York and whose mother is Nigerian, won last year FIA UK Junior European Championship and has graduated to the senior class this season. Formula One has not had an American driver since Alexander Rossi took part in 5 races for the Marussia team in 2015. The Houston Rockets have ended their 20-game losing streak with a 117-99 victory over the Toronto Raptors. John Wall scored 19 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists for his first triple-double in 5 years, while Christian Wood added 19 second-half points. The longest losing streak is 28 games set by the Philadelphia 66ers, while the 2014-15 and 2015-16 season, Wall, who joined the Rockets in December, told Silas, "We finally got one." Silas, who is in his first year as a head coach, said he has received support from various fellow coaches around the NBA. Let's quickly go on this short break. When we come back, we'll bring you more sports stories. Welcome back. FIFA has secured insurance for the Qatar 2020 World Cup, which with the disclosure coming in the small print of the governing body's newly published 2020 financial statement. FIFA said the maximum insurance volume was $900 million. FIFA's business model remains heavily dependent on the quadrennial tournament, which will be staged for the first time in 2022 in the Northern Hemisphere winter. According to the financial statement, FIFA financial position depends on the successful staging of the FIFA World Cup because almost all contracts with its commercial affiliates are related to the event. FIFA is currently budgeting for total revenue of $4.65 billion. Chad have been disqualified from the African Cup of Nations qualifiers after the country's government dissolved the Federation of Chad Football Association (FIFA). The Group A strugglers were due to host Namibia on March 24th and visit Mali on March 28th, but the two matches have now been cancelled by the Confederation of African Football (CAF), with Namibia and Mali both handed 3-0 victories. Chad were out of the race to qualify as they sat bottom of the group with just 1 point from 4 matches. Chad Ministry of Youth and Sport dissolved the FIFA on March 10th. Decision came after the FIFA ignored a previous request from the ministry last December over a provisional withdrawal of its mandate. Slavia Prague has promised to respect the outcome of UEFA's investigations into their controversial clash with Rangers and take actions if necessary. The Czech club has denied racism accusation against their player Oje Kudela. Slavia also accused his alleged victim, guest midfielder Glenn Kamara, of punching his opponent after their European League game last Thursday. Kamara, however, claims Kudera's version of the incident was a complete and utter lie. On Monday, a statement published on Slavia Twitter account read in part, "Everything that happened in Glasgow is now being examined by UEFA and on our initiative by Scottish police." Following his man of the match performance for Leicester City against Manchester United, former England and Newcastle star Alan Shearer has labeled Kelechi Iheanacho as a fantastic player. Iheanacho inspired Leicester City to their quarter-final triumph over Manchester City at the King's Power Stadium on Sunday. The 24-year-old netted twice for the Foxes and set up UA talisman for an amazing team goal after 28 passes. Speaking during his duty as BBC analyst, Shearer singled out Iheanacho for praise following the Nigerian outstanding contribution. Let's quickly go on this short break. When we come back, we have more sports stories for you. Welcome back. Nigerians' preparations for the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games has been given a major boost by the Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki following his adoption of Kwatamila Orupe Oria Yokan. Obaseki made a financial commitment for the adoption of the UK-based athletes after a meeting with the Minister of Youth and Sport Development, Chief Sunday Dare, in Benin last Friday. Oria Yokan is the 8th fastest quarter-miler in Nigerian history and just the 80th man to run inside 45 seconds over the distance, following the 44.95 seconds he ran to win the second semi-final of the event at the 2015 African Games in Brazzaville, Congo. The 27-year-old will, however, need to run faster than his 44.95 seconds personal best to make the qualification standard set by World Athletics for the event at the Tokyo Olympics. He's yet to compete this season but ran 46.42 seconds to win at the test, the track competition held at the Samuel Bumudia Stadium, Benin City last year, March, before he returned to London. He was a member of the Nigerian 4x400 meter relay team that ran 3 0.342 seconds to place third at the 2019 African Games, and should also make the 1,600 relay team to the Olympics for his consecutive appearances at the quadrennial event. Meanwhile, Edo State government Monday said it would deploy 689 athletes and 236 officials 20th nationals at the 20th National Sports Festival tagged Edo 2020, which it also boosted to host and win. Addressing journalists in Government House, chairman of the local organizing committee and deputy governor of the state, Comrade Philip Schreiber, said despite the reduction in glamour and festival would not suffer as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. He said the state will organize a befitting festival with the state-of-the-art facility it has provided, including a pitch art at the Samuel Bermudia Stadium, which he said the Nigerian Olympic team would use to prepare for the coming Tokyo Olympic Games. Schreiber also revealed that spectators hoping to watch live games would not have the opportunity to do so as measures to prevent the spread of COVID-19 during the games. He however noted that other channels where the games can be watched live by spectators have been put in place. The 2021 Men's Cricket Championship got underway on Tuesday at the Boys High School Cricket High Performance Center in Benin City, with Lagos and Anambra taking the greens in the mornings. The tournament is scheduled to run until Wednesday, March 31st, and there are 8 teams in contention: Lagos, Edo, Anambra, Kwara, Kaduna, Rivers, Delta, and Oyo as the state in Benin. For the tournament, Lagos, Edo, Anambra, Kwara are grouped in Pool A, while Kaduna, Rivers, Delta, and Oyo are in Pool B. Former international batsman Endurance Ofem, the players' representative on the board of the Nigerian Cricket Federation and the tournament coordinator, disclosed the event is a test for the players to fight for a shirt in the national team. The president of the Nigerian Cricket Federation, Yahya Ukwemia, said that this championship will help the federation prepare well for some international competitions in the later part of the year. Nigeria will be hosting 2 of the World Cup qualifiers in October and November, and Mr. Ukwemia believes the National Men's Championship will serve as an important preparatory event. Elizabeth Iheanacho has admitted to learning more or 2 things from the just concluded Turkish Open Taekwondo tournament in Istanbul, where she made it to the quarterfinals before bowing out. She narrowly lost 7-6 to Iranian Sherda Vakili. Iheanacho, who was returned to the country and is scheduled to resume training on Monday, albeit in self-isolation, said with more major fights before the Olympics, she should be in the right frame for a good show in Tokyo. Iheanacho qualified for the Taekwondo event at the Tokyo Olympics after triumphing at the African qualifier in Rabat, Morocco. She is the first Nigerian female to qualify for the Taekwondo event in the Olympic in 17 years and the second female after Princess Dudu qualification for the Athens 2004 Olympics. Let's quickly go on this short break. When we'll come back, we'll wrap it up with the rest of the stories. Welcome back. The Belize Football Federation has expressed its disappointment and disgust after a bus taking the national team to their hotel in Haiti was held up by an armed gang. The incident occurred on Monday, shortly after the squad had arrived in the country for the 2022 World Cup qualifier. Police escorting the team were forced to negotiate with the gang to allow the bus to proceed to the hotel. Captain Dion McCauley described the incident as a moment of intense fear. The image posted on the Federation Facebook page showed the gang on motorbikes wearing masks and carrying weapons. In a statement, the FBB said the Football Federation of Belize takes this time to express its disappointment and disgust at an unfortunate incident faced by the Jaguars as the team was headed from the airport to the hotel in Haiti. The FFB added the safety of the team was its top priority and had contacted FIFA and the Confederation of North Central American and Caribbean Association Football, CONCACAF, over moving them to a safer environment. The team is scheduled to play Haiti in their opening World Cup qualifier in Port-au-Prince on Thursday. Striker Romelu Lukaku will join up with the Belgium squad after testing negative of COVID-19 following an outbreak at the club Inter Milan. Saturday's Serie A match against Sassuolo was postponed after 4 players, including goalkeeper Sama Handanovic, returned positive tests. The Serie A leaders had initially prohibited players and leaving Italy to go on international duty. Belgium begin their World Cup qualifiers against Wales on Wednesday. They will then face the Czech Republic in Prague on Saturday and Belarus at home next Tuesday. Coach Roberto Martinez will be without injured midfielder Eden Hazard and Axel Witsel. Germany will seek redemption for November's humiliating thrashing against Spain as Jackie Liu's squad look to get the fans back behind them by winning the first 3 World Cup qualifiers. Germany hosts Ireland in Duisburg on Thursday before facing Romania away on Sunday. They play North Macedonia 3 days later back in Duisburg. A fortnight ago, Liu announced he will step down after 15 years in charge following the European Championship due to take place from June 11th to July 11th. He badly needs convincing wins to restore their fans' faith in the Marquardt following November 6-0 rout by Spain, which handed Germany their heaviest defeat since 1931. Former England striker Frank Worthington has died aged 72 following a long illness. Worthington, who won 8 England caps and scored twice for the national team, began his career at Huddersfield Town. He went on to make more than 200 appearances for Leicester City and played for clubs including Bolton, Birmingham City, Southampton, Leeds United and Sunderland. He also had a spell as player-manager of Tranmere Rovers. Former Leicester striker and BBC Match of the Day presenter Gary Lineker paid tribute, tweeting, "Profoundly saddened to hear that Frank Worthington has died. He was my boyhood hero when he was at LCFC. Worthington was known as much of his flamboyant antics off the pitch as he was the maverick talent on it. He played in 22 consecutive Football League seasons from 1966 to 1987, scoring 266 goals in 882 appearances in all competitions." That's the much we can take today on Sports Around the World. I remain blessed, Mbasi. Do have yourself a wonderful evening.